All we can say is welcome, welcome. Thursday night, 63 degrees here. A lot different than what it's been other places, but we'll live with the 63 degrees. Some places are burning up, some places are freezing. It's amazing. Even though the people that are doing this tell us they're doing it, people like us are crazy. No, that's fine. I'd rather sit in a crazy wagon with the likes of JFK, William Cooper, Robert Edmondson, and many more. I'm going to play a video tonight, which I apologize to people because this is the only way I can upload a video to YouTube. I am blocked out of this channel. I cannot go in there and edit any videos. I can't upload any videos. I can't do anything. I can't, when I go and watch somebody else's streams, I apologize. I can't give the thumbs up. I can't say nothing in the chats. I am totally blocked from YouTube, except I can do this, live streams. It's the only way I can get these videos up. So I apologize if they interrupt, take the sound out. I will get them back up somehow. They're always good on my Brighteon channel. I mean, they'll end my stream. When they don't end my stream, they don't take the video down though, if you notice. They just put a pause in it to try to make people go look someplace else. And that's fine. I'm will always be considered crazy, even though I play the videos of them telling you what they're doing. I show the videos of them rubbing shoulders with these people. But people will not believe it. I just can't understand how people can go through life, see it, and still deny it's even happening. It's, and I'm the crazy one. But that's fine, they sure don't believe in the Bible that they say they believe in. That's for sure. Because they're out there looking for a savior when you were already given a savior. And I'm not a preacher. I never will. How you doing, Meat Puppet? I'm going to have an open floor tonight. The link is there. If you can find the right browser to get up. But like I said, I'm going to play a video. Like I said, it's the only way I can get these videos out. The only way for you to take back the power that you have is to understand what you're up against. And a lot of people call this fear mongering. But them are the people that are afraid. Them are the people that want you to go down the same path they're headed. There's no fear in this. Once you see it, there's no fear. And the parts about all this is the things I got to do in my life are different than your life. So you got to figure out this puzzle. The main thing you got to do is realize who these people are and accept that, hey, this is what these people are doing, because you see it happening right in front of your eyes. And then adjust your life to what you're seeing. You got to make these moves. I can't tell you because I know nothing about your life. And even if I did, it wouldn't be right for me to choose for you the things that you need to do. I know that you need to do something for food. That's a given. We're seeing a lot of that right now. But people got to understand who these people are. And so I've apologized to people out there. A friend of mine, Chuck, he was doing a live the other day saying it was 106 degrees in Texas. It was 56 degrees here that day. But I couldn't say nothing in the chat or anything because I'm blocked. I am totally blocked. This is the only way I can communicate with people is if I do a live. It's the only way I can put up videos and hopefully they don't interrupt them on YouTube. Don't ask me how I'm getting away with this because I couldn't tell you. So there's going to be videos that they're going to try to break up, do whatever they can to try to make people think that, the stream has ended and whatnot. But the stream never did end. If you watch it, it comes back on. It's amazing what these people are doing. But I want to play this, and then I'm going to open up the floor. It's about a half hour long. It's very interesting. It's very intriguing. But hopefully, if you have somebody else that you're trying to wake up, you show them this video. Let them see these people say it out of their own minds what they're doing. Did you see the laws? Love it. Yeah. They're trying to pass all kinds of laws. We've been underneath, our governor's been a young global leader for a long time. And so was a lot of them. Ivanka Trump, she graduated to WF Young Global's leader in 2014. That's why these people never give you a solution. They only talk bad about the other side, and the other side talk bad. It's to keep people locked into this mainframe that they have someone that's going to do something for them. If they did, they would tell you. They would let you know exactly the things that we have to do. They wouldn't be sitting there talking bad about one side or the other. And if a person was sent from God, he wouldn't have to read a teleprompter. And I have nothing against these people personally. I just hate the mind thought. There's a difference. I don't hate the person. I hate the mind thought. And that they're trapping other people to believe in someone's coming to save them when that Savior's already been given. We all have a choice. And the choice is up to you. I'm going to play the video now. Hopefully you like it. Listen to what they tell you. Listen to what you're seeing. It's just around the corner. They're going to start this war, a world war, because they need it. It's not going fast enough. They have to be able to hide when they do all the other stuff, bring in their money system, and this is how they're going to do it, through the illusion of war. Remember, these people don't die. We die. The ones that go to battle are the innocent ones in the way of their fighting. The people that are going to suffer because food will not be sent around the world, and countries depend on other countries sending food. There's going to be just total chaos. Countries are going to fall apart. People are going to fall apart when this world war starts. People have not seen a world war. But it's coming. You see them setting up. That's what Graham and Blumenthal was doing. That's why you see the mainstream media saying, well, Russia is losing this war. Putin's going to do something stupid. He's going to let off a nuke or this or that. And when you see a nuke go off, they'll just blame Putin. They need to get this war going. They're losing it. That's all I can say is they're losing it. And before they lose everything and they don't have, and for them to bring in the real weapons, they have to be able to get involved. So they will fool the people once again, just like they did with 9/11, the Iraq War, Libya, Syria. It's the same players. They're all in it together. I wish people would understand that. And hopefully, this doesn't name all the players because there's thousands upon thousands of them. They have infiltrated, just like JFK told you. It's not by elections, it's by subversion. I hate to say it, you think your votes count. You see these election frauds that went on, and they show these people doing it. Yeah, they can find anybody that believes that, hey, we need our, and then they film them and then put it up. Well, that is not how this election fraud went. They have been owning the elections forever. They just want you to think that if you go out and vote, that if there's enough voters, it'll be exposed. It's already been exposed. In 1963, before they killed that man, the last speech he gave, he told you this, but no one will believe it. And now you hear on the Democratic side, Robert Kennedy, who's been a lifelong politician. Why is he coming out now and saying all the things that we've been saying, but we've been the crazy ones? Because they need to keep you locked in. They need people to believe in this hoax. There's not going to be much time because people are waking up to the fact that something is wrong. Not that they can put their finger on it, but something is definitely wrong. So they're getting ready to do something because they can't let people know the truth. So I'm going to roll the video. Hope you all like it.
There's only just one mechanism the cabal can deploy in order to control the masses: fear. People who are scared cannot think clearly anymore. They tend to freeze and reach out for others to save them and take away the fear. Others like the government or so-called experts. People turn to us for hope, so we have noticed. They even get angry with us when we don't offer hope on a silver platter. Truth is, it's time to stop giving others your power. It's time to stop turning to others for hope or a solution to your misery. Only you can save you. And ugly it is. Much uglier than we expected it to be. But you have two options. You can either turn away because it makes you feel uncomfortable, or you can accept it for what it is, reality. And yes, it's bad. It's ugly. It makes you want to throw up. It would be weird if you didn't feel that way. Believe me, we've gone through all those phases while doing the research. But the ugly truth will not go away simply because you don't like it. It will only go away once you accept it for what it is and act. Once you know the facts, once you know your enemies, so to speak, you can draw up a plan. You will know what to do, when to do it. What we're about to tell you is so insane, so outrageous, that you will probably not believe us. We wouldn't have believed it if someone had told us what's about to come, say, a year ago. Therefore, after our insight into the future of humanity, we will let them say it. Them being the spokesman of the World Economic Forum, the biggest and most dangerous NGO in the world. For when you hear them say it, how can you possibly deny it any longer? And remember, we are not spreading fear. At the end of this episode, you will know what to do, okay? Here we go. Picture the year 2030. Half of the world's population has died as a result of the depopulation program. The world has been taken over by a small elite group of people whose spies managed to infiltrate every aspect of society, after which the long-awaited one-world government was successfully formed. Country borders have disappeared. National and personal sovereignty belong to the past. Terrified by the idea of more killer viruses, cyber attacks, nuclear wars and alien invasions, the remaining people gave up everything, desperately hoping to be saved by their leaders. They now live in a totalitarian, communist, even fascist system. Surveillance has reached unimaginable heights, not just in every street and every house, not just in people's clothes or in the bracelets they must wear, but surveillance under the skin. Billions of people were chipped. They were promised happiness and godlike powers. Instead, they were made redundant and turned into hackable animals. They are now controlled by a system that knows them better than they know themselves. Their political views, their sexual preferences, their mental weaknesses, their deepest fears and hopes. Those who are still alive are now controlled by a system that can predict their feelings and decisions, that can manipulate their feelings and decisions, and that can ultimately make decisions for them. Their bodies, brains, minds and souls were systematically and successfully hacked by means of a combination of unprecedented computer power, understanding of biology, artificial intelligence, and biometric data they collected from you, me, and every person on this planet. Those who survived the depopulation program own nothing. Homo sapiens is dead. It died when it was hacked and turned into hybrid cyborgs. Free will is dead. God has been surpassed and taken over. They finally did it. What tyrants in the past failed to achieve, the Cabal managed. They hacked and hacked and hacked until no free-thinking individual was left on the face of the planet. 2030, 7 years from now. Not a pretty picture, right? Let's hear what the Cabal has to say about it, shall we? Meet Klaus Schwab, founder and chairman of the World Economic Forum.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. What we are very proud of is that we penetrate the cabinets. We penetrate the cabinets. I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. I respect China's achievements, which are tremendous. I think it's a role model for many countries. We have to define how the world should look like.
The difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, it's you who are changed. And of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
People assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. The next crisis is already waiting for us around the corner, and it is the climate crisis.
What a wonderful man! And what a perfect example of yet another fear-mongering sociopath who knows how to mislead millions of people by using almost innocent words to describe one hell of a future. I mean, he just literally said that life after COVID will never go back to normal, something that was promised us all along, remember? He called China a wonderful role model for other countries. China, for God's sake, guilty of the most heinous crimes against humanity. He spread some more fear about disasters lurking around the corner, like a major cyber attack and climate change. Because after all, it's fear that keeps us in line. And he's most excited about genetic editing that will change you, as in all of you, including your personality. Oh, and on top of that, he states that they will define how the future world should look like. They being the elite, the less than 1% that nobody ever elected, but who can actually do this because they infiltrated just about every cabinet in the world. And of course, let's not forget the one-liner that made him famous in the first place. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. You, not them. They will continue owning everything, including the private planes that take them to Davos, where they can discuss the horrors of climate change and the irresponsibility of you and me when it comes to sustainability. But hey, let's move on to his most prominent advisor, Yuval Harari. What does he have to say in his own words?
The defining equation of life in the 21st century. Biological knowledge multiplied by computing power, multiplied by data, equals the ability to hack humans. If you know enough biology and you have enough computing power and data, you can hack my body and my brain and my life, and you can understand me better than I understand myself. You can know my personality type, my political views, my sexual preferences, my mental weaknesses, my deepest fears and hopes. And you can do that not just to me, but to everyone. A system that understands us better than we understand ourselves can predict our feelings and decisions, can manipulate our feelings and decisions, and can ultimately make decisions for us. How exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. In the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough, and nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. We've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. Humans are now hackable animals. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens, because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. The whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over. people could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. Now, for the first time in history, it is becoming feasible to monitor everybody all the time, and not just what we do, but even what we feel. We already know that corporations and governments can know that you are now watching this show. But this is still limited. They don't know yet what you're actually feeling as you're watching us. But once you have under the skin surveillance, you can know that, because emotions and feelings are biological phenomena just like fever. The same technology. Control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. For 4 billion years, nothing fundamental changed. All of life, for 4 billion years, was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution. In the coming decades, AI and biotechnology will give us godlike abilities to re-engineer life and even to create completely new life forms. We are about to enter a new era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent design. Our intelligent design. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods.
Straight from the horse's mouth. Shocking, isn't it? So let's get this straight. They are creating an era of inorganic life shaped by their intelligent design. Because God didn't do a good job. I mean, nothing really changed in 4 billion years, right, Yuval? It doesn't really matter whether you believe in the God of the Bible or in Darwin's evolution theory. This is a statement that no geologist or paleontologist will ever agree on. And it's an absolute insult to religious people. This historian, specialized in medieval and military history, now tells the world with immense authority that they can do better than God.
Now we are much better than the God of the Bible.
Now normally we would tell you all about Schwab and Harari, about their roots, their hidden agendas. And of course we did the research and we discovered a lot. For instance, about the real driving force behind the WEF. Nelson Rockefeller, and of course, as always, the near immortal Henry Kissinger. Schwab and Harari are just cabal puppets. One plays the wise, philosophical, even friendly advisor who meditates 2 hours a day. The other one is a caricature of a Nazi who can't even pronounce the word COVID properly.
COVID-19 crisis, the COVID-19 crisis, the COVID of COVID-19.
COVID? Scovid? Seriously? Is it really important, in this particular case, to share all the background information we discovered? Or should we move straight on to the dark future they have in mind for us in the very short term? We choose the latter as we don't believe we have the luxury of wasting any more time. In short, the World Economic Forum, set up in 1971, plays out a modern-day version of the Protocols of Zion. For more than half a century, every detail of Agenda 21 and 2030 was executed at the exact right moment. Everything was planned meticulously. If there's one thing the Cabal mastered, is patience. More than 50 years of planning, of getting the useless eaters prepared, ready, even willing to become the perfect cyborg slaves. As the WEF carefully played out its Cabal game, moving pawns to and fro, its goals remained the same as always. World dominance, a new world order, depopulation of the masses, and the utter submission of the remaining useless eaters. In order to achieve these goals, every part of society had to be infiltrated by WEF-trained operatives throughout the world. Training programs were set up over 30 years ago to select potential operatives, to educate and shape them, turning them into eager puppets who were subsequently placed in key positions around the world.
We penetrate the cabinets.
Call it penetration, call it infiltration. Let's be honest, it's brilliant. If you wanted your wicked plans to be accepted and executed on a global scale, don't you think the fastest, most efficient way would be to infiltrate every aspect of society? To put your puppets everywhere? Infiltration, infiltration, infiltration. They did it back then, and they're still doing it now. This time, they started with the Global Leaders of Tomorrow, a one-year program that started in 1992 and lasted until 2003. And then, in 2004, a 4-year program was set up, the Young Global Leaders. In 2011, the Global Shapers community was set up to select and groom people younger than 30. So, what's the level of infiltration we're talking about? The Cabal used its World Economic Forum to penetrate everything, every part of society, worldwide. We are talking Protocols of Zion 2.0. Let me show you what we mean. And please realize that every business we're about to show you sent its highly placed representatives to follow one of the WEF's training programs. CEOs, director of this, director of that. Meaning each and every business and aspect of society has been programmed to execute the WEF's demands. Please let that sink in while you watch the following. The WEF has successfully and thoroughly infiltrated the financial world, corporations, NGOs, religion, media. The world of science. Hollywood and Bollywood. The domain of air and space. Royal families. And last but not least, they penetrated the world of politics. Think prime ministers, presidents and advisors to the president, ministers, ambassadors, members of Congress and Parliament, senators and mayors. We're talking thousands and thousands of cabal puppets, longing for a piece of the money and power pie, who were trained by the WEF and put in high positions around the world. Big influencers who decide the direction and content of your life. Now please let it sink in that all the people we just showed you have followed the official training programs, even kings and queens. Why? They're royalty, for goodness sake. It clearly shows you who's actually in charge, doesn't it? The amount of WEF influencers across the world is absolutely massive. There are many, many more members and participants of the WEF who, for some reason, do not need to follow the training programs. Here are some more friendly faces you've probably seen before. All the major globalists are there. That's right. The cabal infiltrated everything. They are everywhere. What's their next move? The Great Reset.
We need a great reset.
A massive global change of reality, enveloping every aspect of your life. This is the era of technology and science, where feelings are read, registered, and altered if desired. The era of reason will tear out the root of being human, so that we can be controlled and oppressed, used, or extinguished. Follow the science, they said.
In this time of crisis, you have to follow science.
But guess what? Science is not about objective discoveries. Science changes all the time. So why treat it as holy? You know why? Because science is about power.
Science is not really about truth. It's about power. Particular scientists may be very interested in the truth, personally. But as an institution, the real aim of science is power.
That's why they wanted us to follow the science, so their power would reach insanely dangerous heights.
It's said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity to also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to, but in a crisis you see we have no chance, so let's do it.
It looks like another company has been approved to sell lab-grown meat in the United States. On June 14th, Upside Foods, whose main investor, you guessed it, is Bill Gates, became the second company in the United States to gain approval from USDA. The first company to receive approval was Good Meat, whose top investor is also Bill Gates. This cultivated meat or lab-grown chicken is made by taking cells from living livestock, feeding them a nutrient mix, and placing them in a bioreactor. Both Upside Foods and Good Meat are awaiting site inspection from USDA before they can go to market with their cultivated meat. Oh, and in case you're worried, both the FDA and the USDA will play a role to determine if the cultivated meat is safe for human consumption. And if approved, both Good Meat and Upside Foods only plan to roll this out to high-end restaurants. So is this really where our future is going, where they want us to eat lab-grown food to save the environment?
Did you know that Vladimir Putin, the Russian's president, he's passed a law that any Russian who grows or sells genetically modified foods is to be considered a terrorist? Whew. He's even giving land away to Russians who will grow food organically, non-GMO. You put his name and GMO in Google that and you'll read the spiel. He says, we Russians look across at the West, over-vaccinated, over-medicated, overfed, sitting in front of boxes every night in their lounge rooms, eating food that has no nutrients, he said, and we know it's weakening the West. Is he right? Absolutely right, yeah.
While Justin Trudeau makes a compelling case study, he is not the only dictator on the rise. Under the new rules provided by the COVID-19 emergency, many other elected leaders were empowered to show their true colors. Interesting how they all marched in perfect lockstep while chanting the same slogans.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity.
Here we are now with an economy in crisis, but with an incredible opportunity.
It's certainly a major crisis, but it also offers us a unique opportunity.
Unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset.
The great opportunity for reset.
Opportunity for us to reset.
For a reset.
It's almost as if they all attended the same school of thought and studied under the same professor.
Some people would say this revolution is characterized by the fight of robots against human beings. And we will win this fight.
His endgame mission is to replace independent governance with a top-down controlled, one world government and a central bank-controlled digital currency.
When they say, you'll be happy, what they mean is, you'll be enslaved. That's why they're talking about a great reset. That's why they're talking about introducing this quasi-communist, quasi-socialist agenda. They know we've run the course where we cannot continue down the path of the ever-increasing indebtedness because we have a generation that quite literally cannot afford to buy a house.
Millions of Americans are priced out of buying a home.
And so it's easy to tell that generation, we're going to forgive your college debt,
Student debt relief,
and set your expectations lower. You're going to rent forever. We're going to celebrate the tiny house movement. We're going to do all of these things which sound cool because they're shaping our narrative so that we become capable of expecting less. What we need to do is not expect less. We need to remove inefficiencies so we can experience more. And that's the subtle distinction that the Great Reset is missing.
Like most globalists, Schwab regards communist China as a shining model of how he intends to transform the world.
We now welcome His Excellency Xi Jinping. China has made significant economic and social achievements under your leadership.
Chinese influence on global affairs is growing. The founder of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, says that this is what motivated the group this year to invite President Xi Jinping to deliver the keynote address in Davos.
Schwab said Xi's presence was a sign of the shift from a unipolar world dominated by the United States to a more multipolar system in which rising powers like China will have a step up and play a bigger role.
I think it's a role model for many countries, but we have to go one step further. It's a systemic transformation of the world.
Artificial intelligence, the metaverse, synthetic biology, our life in 10 years from now will be completely different, and who masters those technologies will be the master of the world.
We look forward to being here. Klaus has done a fantastic job. Klaus has done a fantastic job.
Klaus has done a fantastic job.
Klaus has done a fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
Fantastic job. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. Fantastic job.
Klaus has done a fantastic job.
And again, we're meeting with the biggest companies in the world, the biggest businesses in the world, and world leaders, all for the benefit of the United States. We look forward to the meetings.
Why not have witnesses, Mr.
Is
President?
there to write on climate change, Mr. President?
Well, I'm a big believer in the environment. The environment to me is very important. Thank you.
What about
Thank you very much.
What about witnesses, sir? What's your message to the senators at the trial, sir?
Social justice and
As soon as you start talking about the economic aspect of it, though, a lot of people start listening who wouldn't otherwise listen.
And the same with the defense side of it. In terms of the whole sort of ecosystem, it's been very male dominated. So if you're
Well, there you go. There's my video that I put together for the day. Straight out of the horse's mouth. If you missed the beginning, it's worth going back and listening to what they say. I put the Trump thing on the end because people don't believe he's part of this. He is part of it. Ivanka Trump graduated the World Economic Forum Young Globals Leaders in 2014. Well, how come I can keep showing this stuff? Trump saying Hillary and Bill are the best people that he knows and all this stuff. All these videos are out there. But if the AI knows what you're looking for, it's going to give you those videos to keep you stupid. You got to want to know the truth. You got to want to look at the things you don't want to look at. Don't look for hope. You are the ones that can change all this in your life. I can't do it for you. I can suggest, hey, food, some kind of security, all these things that I do in my life, which I don't even tell everybody everything I'm doing, because that would be stupid. But I'm going to, if anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to come up. It's open floor on this video. Drop the link again. And they own everything. Everything you see on TV, most of the stuff you see on YouTube, it's owned by these people. And they will give you what you want to hear. They will not give you the things you don't want to hear. You have to personally go looking for this shit. But once you see it, you're not scared of them. You see the things that you can do in your own life that you're going to have to change because they're telling you exactly what they're going to do. They're going to mess with the food system. I think we've been seeing that for a while. They're messing with with this cancel culture. You see all the big businesses that are involved in this because they know this is the only way you can get whatever you want. This stuff that they put into people's body, these people are already being hacked. They told you this. In 100 years, they'll be able to look back and say this, that this is where it started. Are they putting it in the food? I don't know. When they're starting to give you lab-grown stuff, there's no doubt in my mind that, yeah, there probably is stuff in there that you probably don't want in your body. It's a shame that these people can sit here and tell people, but they'll turn a blind eye to it because they're hoping someone will come save them. The only person that's going to save anybody is yourself. You guys don't give yourself enough credit. Well, maybe you guys do, and I don't mean everybody. You have to do things. Ooh, let me put myself off a big screen now. Hi, Miss Bonnie. Just fine. Got the windows ready, and glazed, and painted.
Let me shut the door so there's not so much background noise. Sorry.
But it rained most, on and off, so we had to do things, in between rain. Them kind of things that could get the windows straight and ready to be caulked and get the things done I need done before whatever's going to take place takes place. What can I say? Because it is coming. And, people see them setting up World War III. That's why you hear this Putin badger and all this stuff. He's losing control. They need people to believe he's crazy, just like they did with Gaddafi, Hussein. They need to make people believe he's crazy, that he's going to do something crazy to give them the reason to be able to fully go into this war with thousands of troops, not the couple hundred that they've been sending there now. Russia is not losing this war. Ukraine is. If they were winning this war, we wouldn't be still sending billions of dollars and more equipment. I mean, they're just setting people up slowly. They're building this up because once they get the resolution that there can be no argument, Article 5 goes in. And when it goes World War, that gives the government, whoever's in charge at the time, they're all the same. It don't matter who's in there. If Trump was in there too, they get total control of everything. Transportation, commerce, hospitals, anything to do with this United States, they get control of, complete control of. I want people to understand that. Food, everything will be underneath their control. And that's what they need. They need things under their control. And they need to put the fear into people. And that's going to be the next step. And then they'll be able to probably pull off their cyber crisis, their other things that they want to do, maybe power outages in certain areas where they can blame this country or that country for it. But it's all working all together for one goal, to bring in this one world government. And they're probably going to, the Bible even says it's on its way. What can I say? It tells you how they do it. It tells you, they told you that they are gods. They're going to be gods out of their own mouths. I'm not saying this. They could never replace my God. That's why my God's going to send an army back one day. But not to fight them. It's to fight the fallen ones that are directing them to do what they're doing. My job is to fight these people. I can't fight only in prayer can I fight the fallen ones. So I hope, you realize that they're going to bring this third world war, but they need people to believe that Putin is going insane. He's losing this battle, which they're not. All Russia's doing is holding a line. That's all they're doing.
That's what I think too. Trying to get rid of their own evil.
Right. Right. And, I apologize. I go watch your shows and Chuck's show and that, and I can never say nothing because they have me blocked. I can't say nothing in the chats. It's just YouTube's got me so frustrated at times. This is the only way I can get up videos. I don't know why this is the only way. I don't know how I'm beating the algorithm. I couldn't tell you, but I am. But they seem to be able to put pauses in my videos, say that they ended, which they never ever did. If you notice, they just break them up to make people think that. And and all that's fine, because if you really want to watch the video with no interruptions, go to my Brighteon channel, End of the World 1. You can watch any of my videos there. There's, quite a few videos there. Whatever videos I put up here, I usually put up over there. They never get hit. They never get taken down. Never get a strike. I don't get none of that. I would get strikes on Rumble or any other place, but I don't. I just want people to understand. That's why I showed even Trump with Klaus Schwab. He's part of this. I wish people would understand and ask the question, how could he be hanging around all these evil people and he'd be so good? All these people that say that they're going to take over the world. And they're going to have a good run at it because people are too involved in their own lives. They think they can wait until whatever happens before they have to get ready for this. And I'm telling you, once it starts, it's going to be one problem after the next. It's going to pile on so fast you won't be able to keep up with the next problem. Be able to solve one problem before the next problem arises, if you're not knowing what it is that they're doing. And I want people to know what they're doing, where you can adjust your lives to what you have to do. That's all. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's up to you, because we all live different lives.
Yes.
Some of us got sick parents we have to take care of. Well, to prepare to whatever you have to do when there ain't medicine, or, you have to gain some kind of skills. You have to figure out what you can do now, what natural resources are out there that you can use, and start using them. You have to get these abilities now, or you'll never have them when there just isn't enough time to learn. And you have to work with other people. That's why we always talk communities. Because everybody's skilled in something. And when you bring in all these different skills, it makes life easier, especially through crisis.
Yes.
And that's always been my message. I have never said violence. I will protect mine. There's no doubt in my mind. I will protect mine.
Same.
Well, that's just our instincts, really. If you think about it, we got like a lion instincts,
Yep.
So, but I want people to understand it's coming. They're setting up this world war. They're going to get us into it. I don't know who the Bible talks about, because I believe there's parts of the Bible that's missing, that keeps us in limbo. But there's enough of the Bible to understand what's going on.
Yes. But also, the following know the Bible as well as anyone, so
Yeah.
they could be mocking it, imitating it.
No, I think they're going to shoot for the real thing. I think they got enough of humanity to that point to where you can see it now. Most people don't care what's going on. Even there's a lot of people on YouTube rather just have a good time and call us fear mongers than to tell people the truth of what they're seeing. Because it's easier to ignore. What's that saying? It's easier to fool a man than to tell a man that he's been fooled. That is true.
Yes.
And that's the part of the problem we're having now, even though we're showing people what they say out of their own mouths and the people that they hang around with, like Trump, like Ivanka, and a bunch of other ones too. I mean, they're just not the only ones. But what billionaire really cares about a poor person? I mean, tell me. There ain't none.
None.
No, they worry about their own money, their own status. They could care less. They want to give you the illusion they care about you, because that way they can keep doing what they're doing. I mean, you tell me one area that has gotten better. Do you think this has all just started in the last 2 years? This has been going on for a long time because, you got this man that pretends he's a woman that was in the military, that's a general, that's running our healthcare system. He was in there when Trump was in there. Does Trump ever talk about any of these people? Does he ever give you a solution? No. He'll say this is bad, that is bad. We already know these things are bad. I mean, he's not telling me nothing new. I want him to tell me the solution. And I know what the solution is, but I know humanity ain't ready to do it. And neither are none of these billionaires. Because there's only one thing that runs all this, and it's money.
Well,
They couldn't do none of this without money. Bribing people, paying them off. That's the only way.
So that's one good thing that's happened here is lack of money is kind of pushing the family back together to work together just to get through each month.
Well, that's why they want to bring in their next system of control, which will be digital money, which they already have in place. And remember, they're supposed to introduce it here, and it's going to be brought in slowly. It's not going to happen overnight. They need it to start slowly, because when they start this war, whenever they decide to stop the war, this will be the only solution that people see. People won't want to keep trading amongst themselves and working hard, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and most people don't want to do that. Most people want to relax. And I wish it was time to relax, but it ain't time to relax. Relaxing is what got us here. It's just, and like people think things are going to go back to normal, and nothing's going to go. The world has been changed. If we either go their way or we find our way, God's way. It's one of the two.
Yes.
Because they're trying to take God out of everything. If you notice, it's,
Yeah.
It's been God was taken out of the schools, out of the courts, out of everything. Even out of the Hippocratic oath of doctors. They take a different oath now. They take it to genderism and everything else. They take an oath to that. Doctors do now. It's crazy what's going on. And we think it just started. And in the beginning of this, this is, the World Economic Forum's been around for 50 years.
And they keep building their idols, and it'll be shown, and then you never hear anything else about it.
Right.
but no one's taking them down.
I'm sorry, Michael, if my volume's down. They're kind of like probably playing with the volume some like they always do. I mean, I can't stop what these people do. I have not changed anything on my end, and I apologize.
You're coming in loud and clear for me. Usually, if you come onto my channel, there seems to be a microphone issue.
Right, and it's nothing. I'm doing nothing different. I noticed that too when I went back and watched your videos when I went up, because I want to see if they were messing with any. And my voice is distorted, and I apologize for that. And I probably should just stick to the back rooms, but I don't. No one sends me any back rooms very much anymore.
I haven't done it in a while.
Right, and I don't know why, but it's pretty much my only way of communicating with people, except when I come up and do this. But I usually just try to, because I don't have much time. I'm usually busy doing things, just trying to upload a video, because this is the only way. I can't go back and edit them. I can't do anything. I cannot get into my account. I cannot go into your chats when you're having a live and say, hi, Bonnie, all that. I can't, they got me blocked out of everything, except doing a live. This is what I find incredible or crazy.
Yeah.
That, you know, and I don't know what to say, except, you know, I'm going to
don't let them silence you.
No, I mean, I've had to work around. I've been working around it for what, 3-4 years now. So, I mean, I've always found a way to keep doing it. But there's going to come a point, especially when they take control of everything, that this platform for me will be done. I mean, I have no choice. I have to protect my family. I don't want them to know anything I do. So, but I'll come up my last time and let everybody know that what I'm doing. I won't leave people in limbo. That, you know, when it's done, it's done. If I have a place I feel secure where they can still go watch my videos, which I think Brighteon still will. I'll probably still upload videos there. But you know, the times now, people know something's wrong. People know that, you know, this isn't what they're being told. And so they're in a hurry to get things going. You know, hardest thing to do is, you know, but they've had patience up to now. But, you know, they're getting older and they need to get this done as soon as possible. They want to see the completion of it. So, but people don't understand. They've infiltrated everything. Every part of our government has been infiltrated.
Yeah.
But you only think your votes count, and that's the illusion they want you to have to keep people stuck where they're at. They've been stealing elections even before Kennedy. Kennedy told us that in his last speech, but people don't want to believe it. I mean, I know here a lot of people don't vote. They vote for local, but they don't vote in the government because, like they say, your vote doesn't count. At least here, we can hold our local officials accountable if they step out of line.
Yes.
You know, there's no way for me to get to Washington, and it wouldn't do me no good because they just pull out these guys in black helmets and black armadillo suits to beat my ass. But I mean, so it doesn't do much good. Go ahead.
Are you never good news on Bright?
No, I'm End of the World 1 over there on Brighteon. Here, I'll drop the link.
Thank you.
Here. Give me a second. And
George, we really appreciate you. All the information that you put out. I appreciate you coming up on panel and sharing there also.
well, if there'll be times where, I miss when you drop the link, and I can't tell you drop the link or anything. So I kind of miss out at times. But what I'll do is I'll drop one of my videos, and that'll lead you to End of the World, my channel over there.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
But this is where people can always find my videos. In fact, I haven't had time. I need to upload the last couple videos I've done over there. And plus I got one coming up for the 4th of July. It's kind of nice that I have time in the early mornings to look at what's going on all around the world, and then look at some bits and pieces of videos, and if I like them, I download them and I check them out later. And then I try to put a video together and put it out there for people to understand. You know what's amazing? You hear no talk about that train that fell into the Yellowstone River.
I know.
I mean, another train wreck.
Yeah. I guess because it's gotten so common, maybe that was the goal too, that people would just quit talking about it. The same
Right.
as everything else that they've done. The paid actors for the shootings, the everything. It's so
Right.
obvious now. But like Michael said, it's all in our face. But there is things we can do about it, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, God will show you the way. I mean, even the Bible tells you that not all his people are going to be taken off this planet when the angels come back for this war. Right now, the evil ones, only thing that they have to worry about is us. But when the angels come back, not only their attention is going to be taken off of us and onto them. I mean, it's amazing that we don't feel we have the ability to fight this, but angels can come out of heaven and fight. I mean, it just amazes me that what the Bible tells us, we don't think that we're living part of the Bible today, when the Bible gives us from the beginning to the end. And someplace in there, we're in it. If you're a believer, we're in it. You don't just step out of the Bible and then back in it. You're in it. Your story is in there. Our story is in there. I used to think that, hey, someone's either, playing a joke on us and it's very freaking good. But I believe it's the real thing for me. That's how I believe it. Because it's almost to the T of what the Bible talked about.
Yes. I guess I need to create an account.
You're right, Michael. Everything that's going on is biblical. Our whole lives have always been biblical. I mean, we've always been part of the Bible. Our story is there, and we're in that story. If you're a believer in the Bible. But here's the thing about different beliefs and that. They're so similar from my research that I have done over the years. They're so similar, but there's just a change here, change there. Either something's left in or something put in that keeps us fighting amongst ourselves. Even in the religion. Look at all the different Christian religions, Methodist, Baptist, Catholic. They fight amongst themselves. And they're supposed to be saying that the same person, and they read the same Bible. It's just that they're way of going about it is different, so they want to argue amongst themselves. It's crazy. When they all preach the same thing, the end goal. Well, supposed to. They don't know more because religious faiths have been taken over by governments too. Well, the New World Order, I shouldn't say governments, they're watched by the governments for a higher power of evil. But, you know, we've seen that come out in my lifetime. I've seen that happen in my lifetime because there's very few ministers out there talking about all the shit that goes on nowadays. Very few. Most of them take the hush money. Because, I mean, that's what it is. They threaten them that they'll have to pay taxes, or they'll shut down, they'll find a way to shut down their church, or they'll do something to them. I mean, I think I'd rather pay the taxes and tell the people the truth. So what did you do today?
Me, I have been babysitting my granddaughter and the normal daily stuff.
Has it been hot there?
Laundry. It's very hot, so not much outside. I can
Right.
only be out there in spurts.
Yeah, you know, the other day, I said this in the beginning, of watching Chuck, and he's going at 106 degrees, and here it was 56.
Oh my goodness.
50 degrees difference. I mean, we've never seen this
Yes.
craziness before.
Yes, and our heat index has already gotten up to like 115.
Wow. Wow. Insane. I mean, it's a year of burning up there, and it's. I believe they're controlling all this. I don't believe this is by chance, because if you look at it, why is it mainly just Texas? You know, when you really look at the heat map that they show you, it's mainly just Texas.
Yes, it shows it just pushing it all down here from the fronts or whatever it is, the pressures. But that's what I was thinking back, and I said, well, I can remember on Facebook counting down. I remember putting 180 something days straight of 100 plus degrees. So I know this has happened before. It just burns up our grass. My yard is brown and crunchy. It burns up everything. And so I'm going to have to go out and cover my plants with, well,
Something to
last
give them
year I
shade.
used sheets. And so that's probably what I'll use again this time. It kind of blocks the sun where they're not so hot, because
Right.
the heat just, you have to water twice a day here, early in the morning and then in the evening, so it'll soak in again.
Wow. Yeah, we've been doing it here too. Just because even at 70 degrees, when you're in the sun, it feels like 90. I mean, it
Yes.
don't feel like 70. But when you're in the shade, it feels good. I mean,
I would take 70.
yeah, I wouldn't blame you.
I did
mean,
see where we're going to be in the 90s this week, and but of course their explanation is because of global warming. Our temperatures, our lows at night are close to 80.
the climate change thing, right?
Yes, and it's because the earth is so hot that it's not cooling off at night.
Yeah,
That's
plus all the stuff that they've been spraying that lays this layer of stuff where the heat can't escape. It holds it in.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible. I mean, I don't know I mean, it rained pretty good. We got probably an inch of rain, but We haven't been seeing too much, but we've been cool. So even though we water, I mean, it's for us on our gardens and that we're pretty lucky there. It hasn't burnt up everything like it is down your way, but we
Yeah.
were afraid that things would slow down and not grow as fast because that's what cooler temperatures do, is slows down your growth. But it seems like our roses, they popped out earlier this year than what they usually do. Things don't seem as normal as what they used to.
Yes.
I mean, our roses should be when do they usually happen? Pop open August?
Middle of July.
Middle of July. And they've already opened and they're dropping their petals and everything already.
Yeah. That's my tomato plants. Usually I would have several tomatoes by now. And there was one about a month ago, and now there's one just starting to grow. But they're not blooming.
Huh. Wow. Do you have it in potting soil or what?
It's a soil mix that I make with
Okay.
all the stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The natural stuff, not the
poop.
Yes.
Not all the chemicals from everybody that they try to sell. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you'll probably still get them. I think ours bloomed late last year, our tomatoes. We've got blooms on ours already
Yeah.
on some of our plants. But like I said, it's kind of a weird year again. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, as long as I get seeds is what I'm worried about. I mean, we got enough food. I don't worry about food as much as, I'd like to have fresh, but we're worried about our seeds more than anything.
That's what I've been doing. Saving the seeds out of everything that we eat. The first time I had them in a napkin folded in a square, and I stuck them in a dry place thinking they don't clean enough in here anyway. They won't ever notice. Well, somebody noticed because they're gone. And I'm like, don't touch my napkins. I need to write on them what they are anyway, so I'll do that so I know what's going on.
Exactly. I mean, it's so confusing, but it's supposed to be confusing. I mean, that's why they do all this stuff. And I mean, never, the things that were a problem you never hear about now until they need to bring it up again to keep people, fighting, or when they need to raise the level of fear or whatever, then they'll bring back something in because you're starting to hear this about climate change and about how bad Putin is and all these other things. Just like you hear that Biden is calling China bad, but how can they be, when they belong to the same organization like the WEF, how could they be fighting? It's just a show.
Yes.
It's all a show. George Carlin told you that even in a joke, but he really meant it. And he
I
said
believe as long as money's being transferred between them, they're okay with each other.
it. Right. Wow, Jen, 3 years, nothing growing. Wow.
Goodness. Well,
I would say concentrating on wherever you're growing, concentrating on fertilizing, getting some good fertilizers in it, let it set. I mean, I don't know if people are around you where you can get some cow manure. Or pig crop works really well, but you want to put that on just before winter because it stinks. And if you put it in and let it get cold, and it gets cold outside, the smell kind of dissipates. But you want to pull it off in the spring. But that, I mean, you can't get anything more fertilizer than pig shit. I guarantee you, shit will grow. I mean, but I'd be saving my own urine, putting that on it. I'd be doing a lot of things. But that's me. I mean, it sounds crazy, but in the last depression, when farmers couldn't get fertilizers, they were paying people for their urine. That's where that expression, ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. That's where that expression came from. People were selling their urine. Urine takes or puts your soils back to a neutral, because you must have some kind of imbalance someplace. And that's why I recommend. I use my own rabbits because we keep either hay or wood chips underneath it. I like wood chips because I can till that right into my soils and it'll turn back to dirt. It puts back in the minerals back into the dirt. But I use my own animals for that. Microgreen growing. Oh, I guess I would be upset too, Jen.
Yes.
I think next time you reached over the fence, you'd be pulling back a stub. It's sad what people will do because they hate seeing you work hard. Just like my neighbor one day comes, boy, you guys just work your asses off all the time. Because we're always out in the yard doing something. We got lots of fruit trees that we got here, and a lot of them are young, so we're trying to get them going. Because I mean, I even got peach trees here, and they're young. So, but they produce a couple peaches every year. They're not established big enough trees yet. But because I don't know how the world might be formed after this, I mean, they might grow in abundance here. Who knows?
Yeah.
So we planted. We got pear trees. Pear trees do grow, but it's kind of hard right on this lake because, like I said, I mean, you can go just down the street a little ways and get away from this, and it'll be 10, 15 degrees warmer. I mean, because we get the cool breeze off the lake. Right now, we got a north wind, and it's, I mean, like I said, it's 53 degrees, whatever. 63 degrees, I forget what it said. Oh, 61 degrees. It's a heat wave. But we like the heat waves. And here, we'll go look downtown at the boat ramp, see what's going on there. To give you guys a view of what it looks like right now up here.
That's good. Outings are always good. Even if it's just around you. Oh, looky there. That's pretty.
That is about 9 miles from my house. Lake's pretty calm right now.
Yeah.
It was pretty nasty earlier. It's pretty calm now. What you're seeing way out there, that's an island. That's when I show this from my house, that's the same island. And to the right is one of the passageways out of this cul-de-sac here, and this way goes out the other way to the west side, east and west channels. But yeah, hopefully here in the next month or so, I'll get out there on the jet ski and I'll take some videos out there around this island and over on the rocks and stuff like that, and put a video together for people. Let people see what it is.
That'd be cool. On a jet ski.
On a jet ski.
Gotta be hooping and hollering.
I don't know about all that. I'm kind of hooped and hollered out enough. I think I'll try to explain what you're seeing.
Okay, that sounds good too.
But this island out there, get this. It used to be inhabited by Indians. And this is how long ago it was. Remember the Indian wars that went on?
Yes.
Well, band of Indians came through, went out there to that island, and they told the natives there that if they didn't come and fight, that they would fight with them, that they would annihilate them. So all the males went except the elderly. All the males went. Only one male survived of the tribe that lived on that island.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of history there. The founder of this place is buried out there on the island. And the only way, because there is a cemetery, and the only way you can be buried out there is if you're a relative of the founders. And I know a lot of them. I mean, because like I said, I've been here. One of them was just buried out there a couple years ago. Young, wasn't that old, but he's buried out there. It's a very old cemetery. You're going back 1700s.
Goodness.
Very small. But the government, there used to be a hotel. A lot of people owned camps over there. The government came and bought that island in 2014. How a broke company can spend millions of dollars and buy an island like that, and who had the right to even sell it to them? But all these people that had camps there, most of them had to give up their camps because they put the taxes so high, people couldn't afford it.
That's horrible.
I know people that just, okay, you want it? They lit them on fire and left. I mean, they weren't going to leave the government anything.
So what does the government use it for?
Now it's a tourist. No vehicles are allowed out there. Back in the day, I've been out there. I logged out there and everything else. But now it's just a tourist thing. You can hike around it. They charge you $2. All my life I've been able to go out on that island and never have to pay anything. Now they want me to pay money. In fact, to go to the beach here, it costs you $8 to travel down the road.
Yes.
I mean, they have taken, we used to have a place, and I'll see if I can get permission to go out there. It's called Paradise. Some of the prettiest sunsets you'll ever see happens out there. Well, when COVID went on, a lot of people from downstate came up here, and they just trashed this place. I mean, they were pitching tents on the side of the highway, every place, but they went out there, they trashed it so bad, that guy just blocked off the road and said no more. Nobody allowed back there. And we've been able to go back there all my life. My whole life, we've been able to go back there and watch the pretty sunsets. I mean, they're taking this place and they're destroying our freedoms that we had here at one time. And all in the sake of protecting it. Who do you think protected it before now? We did. Us people that live here.
Yeah. I see that happening all around me too.
And it's all over tourism, just like this dock that's built there.
Yes.
The rich people that own the boats for the tourists, see these boats over here, they're on a different dock. But this big main dock, only they can park their big sightseeing boats that they have out there. I was thinking one might be coming in because they're probably out there. They do a sunset one, but it looks like it's kind of, I don't know if this is from the fires that are still raging in Canada or not, because Canada's still on fire. No one talks about that anymore.
Yes.
It's funny that people talk about things when it first happens, but then all of a sudden it's like it all went away. And they're still going on.
No,
but I think this is part of our air quality that there is from the fires that are burning over there.
Yep. We even get air quality warnings almost every day. And because we've got the Canadian fires have come all the way down this far. And then Mexico each year burns, they say tires. I don't know what they're burning, but so their smoke comes up here too. So we get a double dose this year.
Yeah, they're probably burning trash there. You know,
Yes.
anything that they can light on fire. You know. Oh, yeah, here comes one of the boats in now. I see it. But they take people out here because these cliffs out here are beautiful cliffs. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and especially when the sun's hitting them at night like this, because you see the different colors in
Mhm.
it, the reds and the grays and the tans and all that. Yes, you know, there's places where the water still comes flowing out. I mean, it is beautiful out there. But looks like today you'd have to be pretty close to be able to see them.
Yeah.
But here comes a boat full of terrorists. That's what we call them. We don't call them tourists. But because, you know, of what they've done, and the money of the people that with the money around here are the ones doing this. We're losing more and more of our rights. We're seeing more and more federal forestry and, you know, whatnot that we shouldn't have to have here.
Yes. Our closest river, and most of the rivers in Texas anyway. Well, maybe it's not, I don't know. If they go into the lower Colorado River, then there's a lower Colorado River Authority, and they take over if there's a big chunk of land that is up for sale, they'll buy it and put a park. Then you have to pay to go to your favorite fishing spots where you used to be able to go anytime. Even the creeks. There's a creek that we used to put traps in for the little
Crawdads.
no, well, whatever we could get really. But there's some little fish, I can't remember what they're called, and that's what we would take down to the coast to go fishing. And now, if you're caught doing that, you get fined, whether you have a license or not.
Wow. You know what they get for a motel room here at night? Even a tent. They get $175 for a tent here.
Yeah.
A night for a tent.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's beyond crazy.
Yeah.
I think I'd bring my own tent.
Yeah.
But you know, for $69, and then I have it for whenever I need it. But yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, a motel room is over $200. I mean, you're talking $300 for a motel room, and
Yeah.
it ain't the best motel. I mean, you could find one of these in the worst slums in Chicago. Some of these motels.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, well, it's just because they're old. You know what I mean? They were built
Yeah.
in 50s and 60s. But I mean, they're just. And if anybody does anything, you know, it's called putting the makeup on a pig. So they make it look nice, but it's still a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the video is kind of starting to stop. But
That is a pretty good size boat.
right. But there you go. You can have a shot of the Holiday gas station. Let's see what's happening in Grand Marais. This is about 70 miles from the house. Yeah, kind of. They still got the same kind of air quality over there as we do.
Yeah. Maybe just leave the golf cart there.
These people do not like government over in this town or police. Just a little old place on the lake. But yeah, the word travels real fast when the police come riding through. Everybody knows it. kind of a cool little place, though.
Yeah. It looks pretty there.
These are still pictures that they take. Yeah, you see, I like to know where all these cameras are. Because I think that whenever they pull what they're going to pull, because if you ever look at all the 5G towers and that, they're all hardened, EMF hardened.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that they're going to be watching the mayhem. Well, I guarantee you, no cameras around here, they'll be watching nothing here. Fucking world goes to shit. That's for sure. But yeah, that's our neck of the world. It's what it looks like. The air quality and that, not the greatest. We'll see how many people get off that boat with jackets on and which ones are wishing they had a jacket on. Because 61 degrees out there, I guarantee you it's cooler on that lake.
Yes.
Because a lot of people come, they come here from other places. They don't even think of the jacket because where they come from, it's hot. Well, we just sold them a sweatshirt.
Yeah. When we go down to the coast, we take a jacket because at night, when we're out night fishing, it does get pretty cool.
Right. Right. You never know, right? Look at the desert, hot in the daytime and cold at night.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared for anything. And that's, what we try to tell people. Prepare yourself for anything. It's fun. But
Gotta have a little bit of fun in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not all that bad. I mean, we can't stop it. We got to adjust to it. We got to fight against it. But that doesn't mean give up your life. I mean, there's enough people like me that devote enough time to try to get the people the information for them to open up their eyes and say, hey, I should question these things. What is Trump doing with Klaus Schwab in these private closed meetings?
Yes.
Why is his daughter a graduate of the World Economic Forum? Why? I mean, we should be asking these questions instead of saying, oh, that don't matter. Because it does matter.
But a lot of people don't want to hear that. I kind of said it to some ladies one day that, all I said was, I don't trust Trump. And, you would have thought I just said.
Their first thought is, then you like Biden. I don't like none of them. How's that?
No.
But then they'll say, well, you're just against governments. No, I'm against bad governments. I'm against what I see coming.
And how can we trust something that has deceived us for over 100 years?
Right. I mean, and this is the thing. They expect to keep everybody occupied. A lot of people say, oh, I'm just, I ain't going to worry about it. But these are the ones that'll be the first to go because they won't know what to do. And I don't know what people got to do. All of us live different lives. Only thing I know for sure is the things that you got to have to survive on this planet, no matter who's running it. And that's food, shelter, warmth, clothing, some kind of, natural things that you put in your body for your own medicines.
Yes.
I mean, there are certain things you got to have to be able to survive on this planet. And we were given all these things at one time. It's just that in the last 150 years, they slowly made us start giving up on it and depended on them to supply us with these things.
And forgetting how to do it.
And that's the key idea right there.
Yes.
Forgetting us, making us forget how to do it. Just like in our schools nowadays. You know, it used to be, hey, teach people the fundamentals, how to write, read, math, because everything revolves around math, right? I mean, no matter what you do in life, there's always numbers.
Yes.
You know, there was, and basic science, but they took it to a whole new level now. I mean,
trust the science.
I mean, they're teaching kids how to have sex. We used to say sex. Sex education wasn't even about sex. It was about the organs, and you know what I'm saying? It was.
Yes.
It wasn't about how having sex or anything like that.
No.
I mean, it was to show the difference between the two sexes and stuff like that. But I mean, now they've just taken it to a new level, and it's because, and you see some people fighting it in the schools, and I wish we'd see more.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we'd see more people standing behind them in the community, even if they don't even have kids, because these are the people that are going to be in your community. I mean, you should care about what they're being taught.
And if you're backing them, they might be there when you need them.
Exactly. Well, that's the way it used to be.
Yes.
You know, people, you know, 150 years ago, we didn't have all these programs and everything else. Communities helped each other.
Yes. I think you were on panel when somebody asked what they did in the old days when they didn't have nursing homes. And I said they took care of each other.
Exactly.
The families took care of each other. You'd have multi-generational homes. Well, I got one.
That's when families were close.
Yes.
But now it's like, hell, if a family member goes in the hospital, hardly anybody even goes see someone, right? How many? There might be one or two family members that go see him, but most people just don't even give a shit about their own family nowadays. They're worried about their own. I guess that's where, you know, the Bible talks about selfishness and lovers of ourselves and, you know, things like that.
Well, and making the parents think too. At 18, you need to send them out on their own and let them live life and learn the way you did, you know, and that's where we goofed up, I think, is forcing them out.
Right. You know, I hate being but there's enough out there. I hate being the thing of bad news, but, you know, and I know people have been saying, it's, you know, it's coming. And it is. I mean, they were always right. When exactly? I mean, I can see their next step that they're leading up to, and that's, you know, World War. Because even the Bible says there's something that doesn't go along, and it has to be a big country. I should say a country like Russia or China or the United States, and there's a couple of them I have questions about, even the one I'm in. But even the Bible talks about in the end time, something's going to start fighting this evil on this planet. There's a country that's going to start fighting this evil. I mean, until it gets to that point, I don't know. I mean, all countries are going to have some, just like the people, you're going to be connected somehow to it. How connected you get to it will be a question. If you're using it for good for God, I think God will forgive you. But if you're using it to just survive on this planet, I don't think he's going to take kindly to that. if you're not fighting for him. That's just my thought.
It makes sense. Yeah, what Michael said. I'll never trust a man that will cheat on all three of his wives.
Yeah, you got that right, Michael. But, you know, we live in a world where we all grew up with superheroes, and we've been trained to think that somebody's going to come save us, and
Yep.
that is just, that is not what's going to happen. When anything bad has ever happened, it's always the people got together to put down whatever it was. The common, the poor, the people that are really the backbone of this earth came together. It wasn't these ruling ones that get to go play on the golf course every day. That's for sure.
Yep. Even the Cinderella movies, it's always the prince, someone royal coming to save you.
Yep. Yep. I mean, that's just been instilled in us that, you know,
Yep.
someone's going to come save us. And that's because they want us to forget that someone has already came to save us. I mean, for me, that's where it falls back to. I don't know where it falls back to other people. Just like I always said, you know, I have people that believe in God, and I have friends that don't believe in it. But we don't pressure each other's thoughts on anything. We work together for the common good.
Yes.
I mean, in the end, you know, he's going to have to count for what he does. I got to count for what I do. I mean, there's no use in us fighting over what's right, what's wrong in some aspects of life. What we got to do is have a common bond that we want to be free and have our own choices. And then we can get along. And I get along with them just as good as I do about other people. I mean, it's just, I can get along with anybody until stupidity rises, and then I don't have patience. When stupidity rises out of somebody, and it's not that I hate that person, I just hate the idea. Or, you know what I mean? It's nothing to do with the person. It's what's been instilled in him and what's instilled in me. That's the conflict. It shouldn't be about the person. It should be about the idea, but people take it personally because that's how, if you say something bad about something, now you're attacking me. And it's nothing about that. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm attacking an idea. And I wish people would understand that. And that, you know, most of the conflicts that we have between each other, if we looked at it that way, the conflict we would be able to solve because we're not looking at it as a personal thing. But nowadays, people take everything personal.
And some are very stubborn and hard-headed and stuck in their ways.
Like you and I and other people.
Yes.
Right?
And so it's a little hard to bend and be open-minded, but this journey for the past 3-4 years has made me more open-minded because seeing all the things that I never thought I would see, learning the truths and from all of y'all, it has been, whoa, nothing's the way I thought it was. Yes.
It's not as simple as what we thought.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about, the knowledge that just living on the land that we've forgotten. Thankfully, I had a grandparent that she taught me those things, and that's what I need to continue down for my family so that they'll know how also. I'm seeing I think it's the CDC, somebody is putting out all these warnings about canning now. And like it was saying, everything we've been doing is wrong. That it's supposed to be done a whole different way. because of the food poisoning and the but I remember way back when somebody would find an old jar of something, they would just open it up and eat it. They didn't question it. They didn't keel over dead either.
Do you know they have an expiration date on water now?
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that?
Yes.
An expiration date on water. I didn't even know that. The wife came home with some bottled water. She was at the daughter's, and the daughter's like this. If once something hits an out of date, it's gone. And it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means they got to take it off the shelves, and that way they keep the supply chain going, and people in jobs. But she comes home and says, well, she gave it to us because there's an expiration date. And I'm thinking, expiration date on water? And I looked at her and I said, well, that lake's got to go. It's a couple billion years old. I mean, I've never seen such insanity. I mean, going around the world. I mean, never have you seen an expiration date on water. I mean, you never would have seen it back in the 70s, but then you didn't see bottled water.
Well, that's true.
I mean, if you wanted water, you grab the neighbor's hose or your hose and drink right from the hose. Nowadays, you don't even do that. Yeah, I mean, I never heard of water being outdated. Till the other day. It was a new one to me, I gotta say. I felt stupid when she told me that. I said, I've never even heard of it. But, I'm learning things every day too.
Yeah.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, put it that way. But I'm a tool that works.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not either. Never claimed to be. Just absorbing as much as I can.
Right. And there's so much. I mean, if we were brought up to like with the way people were brought up 150 years ago, it'd be so instilled in us. That'd be just, second nature, just how to plant something or, all that. But, through the couple generations, it's just gone. It's just been, our parents wanted a better life, and their parents before them wanted a better life for their kids. And so they kept choosing the easier way of doing things. And it turned out not to be the best way, I guess. But, all this technology could be used for good. I mean, it doesn't have to be for bad, but, it has to be in the hands of the person and not just the few. And right now, it's all this, everything's in just a few people's hands, And that's why I'm saying, when they start if they start World War III with Russia, we will lose everything. We will not have control of any of the energy, and of the housing, any of the food, at all. The government runs it all. If you want to talk about how do you put countries, into this new world order, that's where you would start another world war. Because the governments take over everything in the country. They say what companies will get the supplies and that. You know what I'm saying? Things will not be normal.
Look at China when they welded the doors shut so they couldn't leave their apartments.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
And who's good friends with Xi Jinping?
Yeah.
They're trying to say Biden ain't, but, his family got $2 billion. I know they're talking about a few million. No, he made a couple billion.
Yes.
He owns an island. That man's been in government all his life. Before that, he didn't, before he got into government, he never even had a job. He's been in government all his life. He owns an island. down by Epstein Island that he bought for $500 million, $500 million that no one ever talked about.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Now, where do you come up with $500 million? It's not like he's got any other kind of businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, and to think that all these people belong to these clubs, the same club, but they hate each other. It's all a charade. And I wish people would understand that. When you have Trump out there calling Hillary and Bill great people, and I played that video.
Yes.
And if people ain't seen it, I'll go grab it right now. I mean, this man tells you to your face that these people are good people.
Yeah. I saw that where he was really Hillary up.
Oh, it's right here.
Look what Michael said about Trump in Saudi Arabia.
What? Yeah, of Saudi Arabia. Him and Elon Musk, which Elon Musk acts like he's against Trump now, he was part of Trump's transition team. Elon Musk made billions of dollars off them respirators. Tesla, in their and his company and biggest company he's got in China, made all the money. Remember, we had a supply problem at the time. Where did they come up with building all these respirators that they, you know, all this material had to be someplace? They made billions of dollars. He's been getting rich just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Let me mute myself.
Me too.
Well, you said of Hillary Clinton that she was, quote, pretty badly abused during her presidential campaign. Why did you say that?
I thought that they roughed her up pretty good. I think she's a wonderful woman. I think that she's a little bit misunderstood. You know, Hillary's a very smart woman, very tough woman. That's fine. But she's also a very nice person. And I know Hillary, and I know her husband very well. They're fine people. I thought, and you know, part of that is a rough political battle. I thought she was roughed up. I thought she, and I'm not knocking the other side. You know, you want to win a battle, so if it gets a little bit nasty, it is politics, and politics is a tough game. But I thought she was perhaps unnecessarily roughed up. She took some pretty hard hits, to my opinion.
From the media?
Well, from the media, but really from the Obama campaign. I think Obama brilliantly perhaps roughed her up. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying she was roughed up. I mean, it took her a while to get back into the fold and to really get out there and support. And she was a great trooper. I mean, she really went out and she worked very hard. And I think she had a very, very tough campaign. That was a tough campaign for her.
How did she go down in history?
You can't disagree with me, Dominic, can you?
How did she go down in history?
Well, I think her history is far from being over. I'd like to answer that question in another 15 years from now. I think she's going to go down at a minimum as a great senator. I think she is a great wife to a president. And I think Bill Clinton was a great president. You know, you look at the country then. The economy was doing great.
Why won't all these Trump people look at this kind of stuff? Why won't they acknowledge that this man has said these things? They want to believe in the illusion. That's all it is. And I can't blame them, except they don't give themselves enough power. And that's where I grow mad, is when people don't have enough inside themselves that they believe that someone else has to come save them. But these are probably the people that are always going to be dependent on somebody else to give them everything they have. What can I say? I mean, but right there is out of his own mouth. He thinks that she's a great person. Go down in history as a great senator. She was probably the best wife.
But yet in his campaign, She's going to jail. Benghazi. Right.
Yeah, right. And then when he won, he was telling the people that were there, well, you need to give Hillary a lot of thanks. She fought hard. She's a nice person and all this stuff. After he won the campaign, he is saying all the opposite of what he was saying during the campaign. This is what I'm saying. People are believing this illusion that he cares about you because he built half a wall. This wall was never going to be finished because you had to have the illegals come into this country and people, oh, that's about votes. It had nothing to do about votes. Learn your history. This has been done over time and time again to tear down countries, to break their identity. And if you look at it, it's only happening in Western white countries, Christian countries, that were Christian countries.
Yeah.
It's not happening in Dubai. It ain't happening in Saudi Arabia. It ain't happening in all these beautiful places that you see all the time in these Middle East countries. It's happening to the West. It's about taking us down. It's about taking the whole world down. But really, there's a deeper side of this evil that people ain't seeing. And like I said, you have to go back to the 12 tribes to understand that. Remember, they're part of these tribes that God did not like. They still worship the bull, Moloch. They were the one that put Jesus on the cross. Remember, they voted, let a
Yes.
because it was blasphemy what he was saying, because their Savior hasn't came yet. And where is the fallen one supposed to appear at? Think about it. Where's he going to walk into the temple? What country? And I'm not saying all of them are bad, because there were good tribes and there were bad tribes, but it all relates back to the 12 original tribes.
Yes.
Who's doing all this evilness to this planet. It's never stopped. You show me where any of them said they gave their forgiveness for putting my Lord and Savior on the cross. They have never said it, because we're what they call the Goyim. That's what they call us, the Goyim.
Hmm. Yeah, I keep wondering where we fit in. Because everything took place over there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know everything about the Bible. I know certain things that God made stand out in my mind that were in the Bible, like when Jesus sat on the hill and Satan came up to him and offered him all the kingdoms of the world that he would just, worship him. And he said, no, for I am not of this world. But what if he would have said yes?
Yeah.
Who would have had the power to give it to him? That's what I'm trying to tell you. God even said you're going to be born into sin. It means this evilness, not that, hey, we have to choose sin, but you're going to be born into this evilness. When he kicked out the fallen angels, where did he put them? Where did they go? Tell me. Who had the power to offer him all the kingdoms of this planet? You should ask yourself. There's just certain stories that God sticks out in my mind that makes me think, well, this is not God's. This is somebody else. He gave us a Savior. I mean, I can't ask for another one when he already gave me one.
True.
I mean, And he's going to come back one day on a shiny white horse. Let's, you know, all this would end tomorrow, you know, easily if people would just get together and say, no, we're not putting up with this shit. Because yes, there might be a couple million of these people out there doing what they're doing, and all the governments and all this stuff that they have infiltrated, all the big corporations and all this stuff. But there's 8 billion of us. There's more of us by far than there is to them.
That's
All we
true.
got to do is say no.
And we're seeing other countries doing that, saying no.
They're fighting it, and you don't see that on the mainstream. I mean,
Yeah.
right now the Dutch farmers are going to Hague again, and they're getting beat up and everything on the way, but they're still going.
Yeah.
I mean, these people have not given up in other countries. You know, and all I can say is, you know, everybody thought that we were going to be the leaders to stop this shit, and then I see us as the ones that are doing nothing, really. I mean, there's few people out there. I don't want to say no one's doing anything, but the amount of people that we need isn't there. That's for sure. And it was part of this illusion that that the United States has with all the power of the corporations and the media and social media that they have control of, that are making people think that someone's going to come save them. And we're here to tell you, no. If there's some army that was going to be able to stop this thing, you would have known somebody in this. It wouldn't have stayed a secret. There is no private army of people waiting to go against these people. We are the army.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably the people. I was going to show the girls about the Farm Aid that they did years ago, and I
Yeah.
didn't realize that they're still doing it annually, every 4th of July. They still do it. Willie Nelson, oh, I can't remember the list of the ones that keep it going,
Yeah.
and that money goes to the farmers. They make sure it goes straight to the farmers to keep them growing here for the people.
But we're seeing them being forced out, and we're seeing people like Bill Gates and
Yes.
other countries like China being able to buy up all this land, which, I mean, no foreign country should be able to own any land in this country.
No.
No foreigner should be able to be in law enforcement of any position or any law enforcement. I don't care if it's FBI, anything. They shouldn't be able to be allowed in it.
Or the government. And look
But
how many of
we're
them are.
but yet we're seeing all these things happening.
Yes.
And everybody wants to say, well, it's like, no, this has been planned for a long time. It's every step is led up to now. And it's not going to get better until the people realize they have the power and they stand up to this. And the power is just saying, no, we'd rather starve than to go underneath what we're going underneath. We want our God back. We want what our country did represent at one time.
Yeah. And live by God's law.
Yeah, exactly. But
And
then
that's where it starts in your communities.
Well, we had a unity because we really don't have a culture. We had a unity underneath one thing, and that was God, and that's been taken out. And that's why you don't see the unity in the family and in the communities and stuff like that that we once had, because that has been stripped away. We have no common bond like we used to. We have like run the course. People don't see that, hey, we can build a better country. People used to come here to be free and to help build a better country. Now they come here for what? free handouts or a job. But it's not like we're getting doctors and scientists and stuff that are jumping across this border. We're
Right.
getting what the other countries don't want.
So what
That's
if
what
it
we're
came
getting.
down to if the government took all that away? Because you know they're going to. They always
Yep.
do.
Yep.
So what if it came to us working together? What if they have skills that we don't? I mean, I know a lot of my neighbors that they've done it the legal way, but still they are skilled in masonry. Just
Yeah, I'm not saying these people are being used.
yes,
They really are. But if they're not coming here for the right reason, doesn't make us a strong country. It makes us a worse country if they're not coming here to help build America, is what I'm
right.
saying.
But how many of them do you think, or how long do you think they'll sit without doing something nefarious if they're that type of person anyway? I think that the bad ones will expose themselves pretty quick, and that's how we can
You'll see a good man that has
siphon
never
through.
done anything wrong in life go out and kill somebody where his children won't starve.
I know.
That's just human nature.
Yes.
So you're even talking about people that had never even considered doing something wrong, now pushed to the point of doing something wrong. That's my biggest fear.
True.
Because if someone, that you're always going to love the people that are closest to you, and if you have kids and stuff like that, I mean, at what point do you say, "Hey, I'm going to steal that loaf of bread before I'm going to let my kids starve"? I mean, at what point do you break down? And people don't never think of that. Where is my breaking point? What is my breaking point?
We need to be on our knees.
Right? Right. Right. But even you getting down on your knees when you get back up. Everybody's got a breaking point. We all do. How you handle that breaking point is the question. And if you've never thought about that breaking point, I look at what I see coming, and I'm just trying to head off where I don't ever have to reach that breaking point. I try to gain these skills. I try to find others that I'm gonna trust, which ain't very many. And hopefully there'll be more when times get bad. But it's going to be a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, and how do you handle the argument between people? And because everybody's going to be at their wits' end, and it's going to be, it's not going to be an easy chore. Put it that way. No matter which way you go.
And that's where I think it's going to take everybody, the calming, motherly types, the strong warrior men, everyone mixed together that can try and put some sort of balance in this.
Well, I know one thing you're going to have is tolerance. You know what I mean? You're going to have to tolerate other people and their ways sometimes. You're going to have to give up. You're going to have that, like a marriage, for a marriage to work. You're going to have to, work together through each other's faults. I guess you should say.
Yes, because there's so many cultures now that are going to be mixed together, which we already have a lot of the cultures, but not the the mass that they have put in over the years, the past few years, that
Right.
and
Right.
that the one common goal of all those cultures, most of them anyway, not too many that I've seen not, is the family. They are committed to family. And if that's our one commonality, isn't that something to build on?
Well, it is, except like how they've been doing it, like when they bring groups here from different countries, they stick them all in one area. Then people are going to tribal up because they can only trust somebody else that believes in the same kind of things they do,
True.
that they believe. And that's what's going to make a lot of this, you know, not good, is because we have a lot of groups like that scattered all over the United States where they just flooded that one minority into one area, and they'll see as any other that ain't their same ethnic background as being an enemy.
Yes.
And that's, for me, is the scariest part of this whole deal, is because you'll have all these different tribals, and just like I said, you'll have to tribal up with the people. You know, it'll be the same way for you too.
Yeah.
But if you ever know, that's where we all came from. We're tribes.
Yes.
You know, so
And
it'll all go back to the beginning again. But how people do it, react to it, I mean, it's going to be a challenge. But for them that they've been bringing here from these third world countries right now, it'll be easier for them to tribal up than people like you or me.
yeah. And that's one thing I saw. Anthony was filming at the border, and he was asking each one, "Where are you from and where are you headed?" And
Right.
they all had a white piece of paper. If they couldn't speak English, they would just show him the piece of paper, or Spanish, and um, there was a state written on it. They all knew which state they were going to as soon as they crossed.
Right.
So somebody's setting it
And
up.
they want to blame the cartels, but these people have had help all the way from whatever countries that have taken off from. What I'm saying is this: there's a bigger organization that's running all this, and it's called the United Nations.
Yes.
I mean, they've been calling for this for years. These people have a credit card issued to them from the UN. It says UN right on these credit cards.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry that maybe, I should probably hunt back and find these videos for people. I try to keep up with what's happening right now and what I see, that I, forget about going back and grabbing a lot of these videos that I do have and breaking them up and making new ones, which I probably should do. But it takes time, and it's to remember what video I had it in ain't always the easiest.
Oh, I understand, George.
But I just want people to understand the people that we're looking at right now and what they're calling for. And that is this new world order, this one world government, and how all these people of all these governments, I don't care if they're senators, congressmen, how they're all in on this fucking bullshit. Excuse my language. But sometimes I show my flesh side. And I don't mean to, but I do. I'm a man.
Michael said, what if the people coming up from South America are going to be sold into some kind of slavery?
Right now they're being used to wreck the identity of the what America was once was. We were used to be a country founded by mostly Scandinavian, whatnot countries, European, white European countries. We had an identity, different cultures, but we had an identity. And our main identity was Christianity.
Yes.
We're bringing in not Christians. We're not bringing in. They are, if you look at what the people that they're bringing in, they're of a different color, and it's about outbreeding the white man. That's what it is. It all relates back to the Bible and the 12 tribes.
Yeah. And the last I saw today, they said 150 countries have come in.
Yeah, 150 countries.
That's a lot.
And there's only 190 in the world. 192, I think.
Yes. So they're not all just from South.
And they're all coming except from white. You don't see whites passing the borders, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And it's because they're going to change the identity, diversity. Remember that word that they keep using, diversity is good for you. No, it's about breeding away the white man, but this goes back to the 12 tribes.
Yeah.
This is going into what I don't believe, but what they believe. I believe they believe this because they believe this. They teach it. They still teach it in their schools today in a certain country. And when I say the word Goyim, they know who I'm talking about because they're the ones that call us Goyim. And it's not all of them. Not all of them are bad. This is the bad thing about all of it. Just like these people come into this country. They're not all bad, but they're being used for something they don't even understand.
Yes.
This is what's horrible about this whole thing. This is why they're getting free shit and Americans ain't getting nothing. There's a reason for this. And I don't care what your ethnic or what your color or any, when you're being used, you're being used. I want to see everybody be proud of their own culture. But when you're wanting to make new cultures, or not even new culture, I mean, mixed cultures, you take away the culture of that country.
And that's what I mean. It doesn't have to be the breeding. There's some of the culture traditions that I kind of agree with. The celebrating the dead is so they don't forget those people, their ancestors, their, you know.
Why is this only being done to white Western countries?
Well, I know.
England, Germany. Why are all these immigrants going to these countries and not other countries is what I'm asking people.
Because the other countries won't even allow it.
No, it's not that they won't allow it. This is not the plan. Where these people are going is the plan. That's why they're sending them there. These people's heads have been filled with some of the craziest stuff that there's jobs and everything else. Well, there ain't no jobs waiting for them. Unless they want to clean rooms or something like that. The real jobs, there ain't none. I mean, they had people believing that people didn't want to work, and people do want to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they can't get hired. You know what? I've seen places put ads. They'll have a thing hiring now. You go in there and try to apply for a job. Oh, we have no jobs. But they'll have the ad out there like they're looking for jobs. It's the illusion of what they're doing. This is the whole thing about it. They're good at what they do, but you know, who are these evildoers? If they follow the one that the Bible talks about, it would be the master of deceit. Well, they got to be deceitful too. If you listen to the Bible, that's how we get to the point to where the end times come, is because we were deceived. It's the illusion that they keep giving us. And just like all these people that they're bringing to this country, they're being deceived too. They really are.
Yes.
I mean, there are some bad people involved in this, and they're probably sneaking in an army underneath this illusion.
Yes.
But most of these people are being deceived too. They're just as innocent as we are.
But that's what I'm saying. Once they realize that, they're not going to be happy.
No, they're not.
And so if we start trying to communicate with them before that happens.
And now they come to a foreign land. They don't know what grows here. They don't know what's edible. Because, you know, where they come from, they know what, you know, different things grow there.
Yes.
They're really going to be upset if this all goes down.
Yes.
That's why they need so many of them here. These people are going to fight to survive on this planet. And this is where the mayhem's going to start from. All the craziness. I mean, you can see it coming and building. And when everything goes down, these people are not going to be nice people, and you can't expect them to be nice. You wish they were, and I wish they were too, but it's not going to be that way. Well, to get rid of the cartels, you got to get rid of the CIA, because that's who's really doing it.
Yeah.
They blame it on the cartels. The cartels are the ones that keep the Mexican government in line. Yes, they have some groups that do bad things, but most of them are against the government. That's why they're hated there. They're not running these people. The ones that run people are what they call, what are they, the coyotes and that. I mean, these people are getting paid because this is the only way they get paid, and all they're doing is showing people the way. But for them to get from China to there, you tell me how in the hell they're doing that. How a poor person from China is getting to our border on the south. This has all been planned.
Yes.
And the ones running them across this damn border are as part of our government.
Yep.
Yeah, they're the biggest drug. They got their hands into everything. I don't even know why they call them the CIA. Because they're not. They're not an intelligence group from this country. For one thing, I'll tell you that right now. That's for a whole nother story there, for a whole nother show. And I guarantee you, the people that are running YouTube, who censors YouTube, would not like me talking about who the real people are of the CIA. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Because remember, I mean, there's a lot of good people in the CIA. They're just, I mean, it only takes the ones running it, where the other ones do what they're told, because they have a lot at stake. They have their retirement, they have their paycheck, they have, you know, because they have house payments, car payments, and all this other shit, just like everybody else, except their probably payments are even more because they live a more lavish lifestyle than I do.
Well, and a lot of those organizations are hard to get out of too, because of what you know, and you have to go into hiding because they'll just, and so there's the threat of that in their families. And
hiding is one of the hardest things to do because you have to disconnect from everything.
Yes.
Your family, your phones, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you would not be able to do well that, and with this surveillance system now, you know, you walk into Walmart, they know who you are. They have facial recognition everywhere nowadays.
Yes.
That's why you see all these cameras, and they're happy when people put up these doorbells, with the cameras and that, because that's part of their system too. You don't know it, but they're using it.
Yeah.
They give us the things that we use, the weapons, and we buy them and use them to help them. It's crazy. If someone told you your phone was tracking you, would you throw it away? No.
Yeah, I think they can just fly over your house and tell.
Well, I tell
who's
people,
there.
it's kind of hard to go without a phone. Just leave your phone at home when you leave the home.
Yeah.
Don't let them know what you're doing. Well, there's a tracker on my vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
That's, they sell us the things that are say, oh, it's good for you. Well, we can locate your car whenever. So they're locating your car wherever. And so to have something before, a vehicle before this is the best thing to have, but you can't go buy a new vehicle that ain't going to be, they know where it's at all times. But still, you can leave your phone at home because you go someplace you're not. They don't have to know every single thing you do, is what I'm saying.
Yes. That's why I say a horse. Can't track my horse.
Right. Well, Bonnie, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody in the chat for stopping by, but I've been on 2.5 hours.
I understand, George.
I hate putting up real long videos, and these people like the short videos, and that's why I've been doing that. I just hate that I have to go live to be able to upload them onto YouTube. And so if you show up and I'm doing a live and I end it real quick, I just asked you to go back and watch the video. If you missed the beginning of this video, I asked you to go back and watch it because
Yes, I will.
I think the video that I put together and put into this live stream is very knowledgeable, and it can help you let other people, it's not you saying this shit, it's them saying it. And it shows you some of the people and some of the corporations that are involved. And there's a lot more than them. We're not going to make a 100-hour video. No one will watch that.
No.
So I've always found it just easier to do a short video and just put it up. But the only way, and I apologize to everybody, for me to be able to put up anything on YouTube, I have to go live, play the video, and then I end it. And I apologize, but we're busy here. We got things going on. I went through a real bad time, this last few months, and I'm starting to get better. And
I'm glad to hear it.
and I just, I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm working on it hard. And
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll try to get out and get some video out on the lake for everybody, and show you why. This just isn't mine. This is all of ours. Where I live is yours too. This is what we're fighting for, is our existence in our land.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having me up, George.
Well, I'm glad you came by, Bonnie. It's a pleasure, and I wish I was in your, watching you, and I can't say anything in your chats. I can't give a thumbs up. They got me blocked from all that, and I apologize, but I'm always there. Just know that.
I do. And I
Okay.
appreciate it. I'll let you go. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for stopping by, Bonnie. And if anybody hasn't gone over to Bonnie's, give her your support. She's a great person, and a great person to just have as a United States citizen. And I know her family's proud to have her. So if y'all haven't gone over to Bonnie's channel, I ask you to go look her up. It's easy. Just type in Bonnie's and she'll come up. But I want to thank y'all. Go back, look at this video that can help you wake other people up, show them the video. That's all I ask. That's why I put up all this stuff. And some of it's controversial that I do. I'm never I mean, I'm not one of these people that are going to be soft. I'm going to say it just like it is. I'm going to try to put videos up that are try to get people to think. One thing I want you all to know, and God has told you this too, there's no reason to fear. The only reason why you fear is because it's the unknown. Once you know it, you're not afraid of it anymore. So gain as much knowledge of who these people are, what they are, and what they're trying to do, and you won't be afraid. You'll start adjusting your life with the help of God to be able to stay in this fight as long as you can when whatever is coming is coming. And it is coming. You see it coming. You hear them talk about it. They're getting ready to take this country into third world war, taking the world to it. I asked you just to go back and look at what happened in other world wars, how people suffered even though the war wasn't even fought here. You know, they told people to grow food wherever they could. So I'm just saying, you know, gain some knowledge, enjoy life, don't let it over-exhume you and take over your life. Just acknowledge who these people are and what they're doing and adjust your life to whatever you got to do, because we're all different. All our lives are different, but our goals shouldn't be. And that's to survive as a species and what we used to stand for. So y'all have a good night. Hope to see you again. You got it. No fear. Lace is tight. The war is real. Good night, everybody.